All right, what's up, guys? It's your coach Kevin here. Almost jumbled my words there, but nonetheless, we're going to work on the good morning here at Indy City. Today, we're going to go over the actual setup, the execution, and then the re-racking and then racking of the weight. Okay, or racking and then re-racking of the weight. So today, I'm going to be using a 45-pound barbell. It's specifically an Olympic weightlifting barbell. What's different about this one is that the spin on this guy right here is going to be pretty solid, but most importantly, one of the things that I like about this, as well as some other powerlifting barbells, and typically they're not really found in general fitness gyms, they're typically found in a little bit more niche down gyms, is that these barbells have knurls on them. They have knurl marks on them. Okay, so what that allows me to do is that allows me to visualize where I'm grabbing the barbell and how I'm actually setting up. Okay, so as far as barbells in the gym though, and what you're gonna use, if you don't have this 45-pound barbell, you're gonna be able to use some of the straight bars as well on the rack pyramid that you typically see inside your gym. Now, that's actually beneficial to some because this barbell does weigh 45 pounds. If you're just getting started with good mornings, it may not be something that's beneficial to you, and it may not be something that you can do comfortably. Okay, so if you are working on some mobility problems, or you do have some mobility problems that you're trying to overcome, maybe starting off this much probably isn't going to be the best route for you. As well as the 20-pound or the 45-pound barbell here, there also is a 35-pound barbell that you'll typically find at gyms as well. And they're usually marked as 15 kilograms or 20 kilograms for the 45-pound barbell. Okay, so that's just a little bit of explanation on the actual setup that you're gonna be using. Again, the 45-pound barbell, the 35-pound barbell, or the straight bar on the rack pyramid. Now, if you're asking yourself, Kevin, you just said this is an Olympic weightlifting barbell and it's 45-pound barbells, and it's a 45-pound barbell, but I'm in a general fitness gym like an LA Fitness or something like that. All barbells are typically going to be around 45 pounds, okay? That's just kind of the general weight for most of them. They just won't be as fancy, and most of the barbells just won't have all the marks that you want them to have, okay? So nonetheless, you're going to find yourself grabbing a 45-pound barbell most of the time, and if your gym does have the 35-pound barbell available, you're going to notice what that is very quickly because it is a smaller barbell. So nonetheless, if you want to use a smaller barbell just because you're getting started, that's totally fine. You don't have to start with this one. So let's actually get set up. Now, if you notice here, when I'm actually standing next to the barbell, it's about armpit height. Okay, we don't want the barbell too high when we're getting under it. We don't want to like tippy toe up and then try to stand back with it, okay? When there's actually weight on there, it makes it tough to actually balance yourself and get the barbell safely off and on the rack, okay? So I want to put it a little bit lower. I don't want to put it at shoulder height, okay? So I don't want to get under it and try to tippy toe it up. I want to get under it and kind of almost like a quarter squat up. Okay, it's just going to be the most desirable position when you're getting things off of a rack. Okay, so as you can see here, one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my hand position from the beginning. Okay, so for me, I have pretty decent mobility. I'm able to kind of grab wherever as far as width goes when it comes to grabbing the barbell. For some, if you have shoulder problems or if you're just now getting started, I definitely recommend you going out a little bit wider to start. Okay, so when you're actually going to grab the barbell, grab as wide as the rack allows you to grab. Try not to pinch your hands though. Make sure that you're grabbing safely and you're not like turning the barbell and all of a sudden you're pinching your skin here. But try to grab as wide as you can to start, okay? I'm gonna grab in my usual spot a little bit narrower, but nonetheless, for the people who are just now getting started or who have some mobility issues, definitely start out a little bit wider. It just allows you to have that range of motion more comfortable when you're going for the setup, okay? So again, when we go to grab the barbell, make sure you're even on both sides so you're not like grabbing on one side, and then you find yourself when you go to execute the good morning that you're like tilting over. Okay, so make sure that you're grabbing evenly, and then from there, go straight down under, okay? And what I want you to do as far as picking up the barbell, I want your feet next to each other, okay? So what I don't want you to do whenever you're actually going to pick up the barbell is have yourself staggered like this and come out from like a lunge position. We want to have our feet next to each other, okay? So what that allows us to do is if we actually have weight, and you can use this for your squat as well, when we actually have weight on this guy, you're nice and stable, okay? We don't want to be in that awkward position, all right? So once we go under and we actually try to pick this guy up, okay, we're gonna stand with both of our feet next to each other, and then we take a couple of steps back, okay? So get as far away from the rack as you like. Obviously, you're gonna need some space when you go and bend forward. So from here, when we actually try to set up for the good morning, now that we have the barbell on our actual back, we don't wanna be hyperextended like this. We wanna kind of tuck in our body, really tighten up our abs, okay? And then from there, we want to focus on where our hands are, where our elbows are, and how the barbell is actually being placed on our traps. So one of the first things I want you to try to execute is tuck in your knuckles forward, okay? A lot of times people just kind of have their hands hanging out here, and then when they go to bend over for the good morning, the barbell starts rolling up on their neck, and they're like, well, Kevin, my neck hurts when I'm doing this good morning. I want you to tuck in your knuckles here, okay? And then from there, I want you to push your elbows slightly back. Remember to always keep a tight torso, okay? So tighten up your abs, take a big deep breath, okay? Pull the barbell down onto your traps, okay? So again, tuck in knuckles, elbows slightly back, okay? And then pull this guy down onto your traps. Now, my neck and my head are also gonna be in line with my spine, but generally speaking, I do wanna have my head kinda tilted forward a little bit. It just creates a nice little platform, so I'm not like so compressed this way, right? Creates a nice little platform for the barbell to sit on. So head slightly in line, or slightly forward, but definitely in line, if anything, with your spine. So as you go down, right, we're going to focus on keeping that barbell pulled down onto our traps, okay? The next thing I want you to focus on is the movement in your hips and also in your knees, okay? So as I'm going down, I wanna have a nice little bounce in our knees, slight bend in our knees, and definitely try to hinge, so bend mostly in our hips, okay? Now notice as I'm going down, I'm trying to keep my torso as straight as possible, okay? So one of the things that you're gonna focus on for you specifically, if you're watching this, is where your depth ends before you start bending over, okay? Or kind of having this curve in your back, okay? So if you can go down real deep, okay, right here without bending your back like this, okay, then great. But again, focus on knuckles tucked in, elbow slightly back, pull the barbell down, bend in the knees, okay, hinge at the hips, okay, go as far down as you possibly can. Now, when you go to re-rack, okay, same thing applies, feet next to each other and back. Now, as far as feet positioning, we wanna start off at around shoulder width, maybe a little bit slightly outside shoulder width stance, okay? So from here, well, you can't really see my feet, but I'm not gonna be too wide, and I'm also not gonna stand right here, okay? I definitely want my feet about shoulder width, okay? And then from there, as you place your feet down, make sure that you're really trying to grab the floor and spread your feet inside your shoes. And if you can do it barefoot, then great. But as you're going down, okay, make sure that you focus on, again, the upper body tension in your scapular area, okay? We don't wanna be lazy here. Everything that you're working on at the top will affect how strong you are on the bottom, okay? So again, elbows back, knuckles tucked in, pull down the barbell onto your traps. Try to execute by keeping your torso tight, feet positioning a little outside shoulder width, and then bend at the hips. So again, just to kind of go over everything, I used a 45-pound barbell. You can use a 35-pound barbell or a straight bar. You can even use a resistance band if it's long enough and stretchy enough. Just step in both or step inside the loop, throw it over your head, and then execute the same way. Okay, so other than that, I think that we've kind of covered everything as far as the good morning goes. If you have any questions, of course, message me and let me know. And if we need to talk a little bit more about it, then by all means, let's definitely speak about the good morning. But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys watching this video. We'll see you later.